OffBeat Sports Podcast presented by Celsius.
It's been a tale of two seasons for the Boston Celtics.
I probably aged about 10 years just from that series.
I'd probably compare myself to just a younger, smarter, more handsome, stronger Michael Jordan.
Let's go Celtics. Go Patriots.
These are guys who, when you give them a bowl of Cheerios in the morning, they finish every last drop of milk.
Absolute clown over here.
I'm ready when you are, baby.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the OffBeat Sports Podcast. Doing our interview series called OffBeat University, where we interview Division I college athletes, both male and female, from many different sports to get the full perspective into the lives of our student athletes. Today, we're joined by UNC women's basketball guard, Eva Hodgson. Thanks for joining us, Eva. We appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
So I read a little about you before this interview, and I found out you were one of 7 kids, which is crazy. But in a family where basketball seems to be a big part of your lives, both your parents played college basketball, 2 of your older brothers played Division III, and your younger sister is currently playing at UMaine. So how has growing up in that environment helped you get where you are today?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's chaotic, and it always has been. But I mean, it is the reason I'm where I am today. I would say both my parents, just in the location of where I grew up and what I was around all the time, and then naturally you're competitive because you have 6 siblings and then you have 5 brothers, and it's just like my inner me is like, be better than them. And so I'm just constantly trying to like compete with them because I'm younger than 4 of them, and so I always wanted to be included in that like older 4. And so that was a lot of the motivation. But it really was once my oldest brother went to college and was playing that I saw him have to pay his way through college and play basketball. And I was like, I wonder if I could get a scholarship. At any level, academically, athletically, like that was really just my goal. And so I would say in middle school is really when I decided. I was like, you know what, we're gonna put some time into this, and we're gonna get a scholarship to pay for school. And so that's really when I dug into it. And surprisingly, well, to most people, my brothers didn't really like play with me when I was younger because I was a little sister who just like annoyed the crap out of them. So they kind of just like would put me and tell me to go do my own thing. Now they do, and we have plenty of competitions about it, but they didn't a lot when I was younger. But my dad and mom were always the ones taking me to everything. I mean, my dad would shoot with me outside on an outdoor court through any type of weather, rain, shine, all of it. So they were really the ones who kind of pushed me, and then having my younger siblings were just kind of a motivation to be an example for them. So I would say it's definitely like my siblings, but also just the environment that I was kind of raised in and under my parents and stuff, and the expectation, all of it.
So who wins those matchups?
I was just about to say, growing up in that Phillip Rivers dynamic of having 97 kids, who's the best? Who's the best of them?
Well, see, if we're going like technically, I mean, it's me.
You're the only D1 athlete.
Yeah, statistically, like all of it, it's me. My sister is at UMaine, so like she's up there too. But like I like to think I beat her in that category right now. Maybe she'll outdo me soon. But if we're looking at like physicality and size, I mean, I have no chance against my brothers. Like they're 6'5", 6'4", 6'2", and like big guys. So
that's good size.
Yeah, and there's no way that I'm gonna like body the crap out. Like I can't move them. But if we're doing a shooting contest, I mean, there's no doubt that I'm beating all of them.
Yeah, that's where the money is. That's where the money is. The jump shot.
Exactly.
You can be 6'4". You make it to the league. Everybody's 6'4".
Right.
Everybody's 6'4".
Exactly.
Ugh.
So Harry is currently in North Carolina as well. He's stationed there. So he's a New Englander down there. You grew up in New Hampshire. So what's it like being a New Englander down in North Carolina? Like, is that a weird experience?
I can speak my half of it, and it's a lot different. And I'm sure you have your stories as well. But from my experiences, it's kind of like a little bit of a culture shock. You realize not everybody you work with or live around is all assholes. So it's kind of a little bit of a difference. But I want to hear your side of things for it.
Yeah, I mean, it is different. I was in Virginia beforehand, so I kind of got like a taste of the South, but then I just kind of kept going. But yeah, to your point, I mean, People are way nicer down here.
Oh yeah,
There's just this like Southern
sweethearts.
hospitality being, yeah, holding the doors, like, yes, ma'am, no, sir. Like all of that is very, very different. The coffee down here is trash.
Terrible. I
Donuts,
can't go into a Dunkin'
no,
Donuts and be
it's
like excited
oh
for it.
my gosh, it's so sad.
Terrible. It's
Literally got
terrible.
one today, and it like doesn't even taste like my order from home. And I'm like,
I've
you ruined
switched
it for
I've
me.
switched to Starbucks purely
I have
because
to.
it's only slightly better, and I kind of hate myself for it a little bit.
Me
But
too.
You
Yeah.
got to get that sweet tea. Isn't that a big thing in the South?
Okay, yeah,
I
from the
hate sweet tea.
Chick-fil-A's.
I hate sweet tea.
Wow.
I hate it's rough.
You're the
Rough.
hater.
I don't even
because I'm
drink
down
coffee.
here-
Why are
so-
you in the South then? I'm confused.
I don't have a choice. They put me here.
Oh, sorry. Never mind. So you're gonna get out as fast as you can.
Oh boy.
I'm not a sweet tea guy. I can't.
I like
But I mean, you came from William and Mary, and with all the COVID and everything coming in through that, what about UNC has like kind of made the change for you?
Yeah, I mean, you go through the recruiting process all again and you like know what you're looking for, but also you don't really, because you can only see so much of a program or like a school through just like conversations. And that's much of what it was for me because I could never get on campus. So since getting here, I mean, I don't get to see my family often because they're far and because there's so many of them. And so I am so big on community and just families. I love kids. I have 3 nieces and like they're my world. And so being able to find families down here who can like feed that part of me has been what's made it for me, honestly.
I can agree with that a lot actually. I'm a big family guy, you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
always around my family, and I love my little sister, even though she drives me mentally insane. But one of my favorite things to do with her is just play games with her, or just like go outside play basketball with her because she's grown up to be a basketball girl. She likes horses a little bit more, but I have so many friends who I like who live off base, and I just go to their houses on the weekends. I call their mom. I call their dad pops. Like you grow these like new families, and you're like, oh, well, that's good for the time being. So I understand that aspect a lot.
Yeah. No, it's been pretty cool. I mean, there's so many families down here and even classmates and teammates, and yeah, you learn to lean on the people who are around you.
And then you fit right in because everybody is so nice to you.
Oh yeah.
There's nowhere I go where the person doesn't go, "What can I get for you, sweetheart?" I'm like, "Oh,
Oh,
thank you."
you
I'd
get
like
take me home.
but last season was really impressive for you, actually. You kind of played like the big Peyton Pritchard role, just coming off the bench and hitting big shots when you needed to. So, how do you expect, or how do you hope for that to build onto this season? Maybe break into the starter scene, or just shine your skills and keep improving on them.
Yeah, no, definitely planning on breaking into the starter scene. But honestly, like for me, it's always been whatever the team needs is what I'm gonna do.
Absolutely.
It plays into like being a part of a big family. You just kind of take on the roles that you're given. But this year, the role for me has really been to step up in leadership. I mean, I'm one of the most experienced on our team in basketball in general. And then ACC wise, now that I have a year under my belt, I'm able to like speak on it because I've been through it. So for me, this offseason a lot was just quickening my release, letting it fly a lot more because I am a good shooter, but I hesitate because I like to facilitate. And so it's like balancing that now and thinking more through the dynamics of our team and who I want the ball in their hand, like whose hands I want the ball in and all of that stuff. So for me, I'm leaning more on like the leadership side of things. Yes, I know I'm going to have to score because we lose Carly. But also just filling any need that my coach really needs, which right now has been like the vocal leader side of it.
Yeah, so before transferring to UNC, you played at William and Mary. We put together a very impressive basketball resume. So how did that experience in the CAA prepare you for your time in the ACC, which is a whole step up?
Yeah, it doesn't. The levels are just so different, both in who I'm consistently practicing with and then also who I'm going to play against consistently. And I think, a perfect example of that is when we played JMU at UNC. We slaughtered them. Like it was like a 40-point game. And that's one of the best teams in the CAA. And that was a team I never got to beat when I was at William and Mary. So for me to see that growth was really, really fun because like I know the level that I'm playing at now is the highest that it gets for college women's basketball, and that's wicked cool. But it did prepare me. I mean, in the sense of both transitioning from home to somewhere that's farther, and then being able to balance like a heavy academic load and then also playing and learning just like dynamics and how to lead from being an underclassman. Like all of that stuff definitely prepared me for what's next. And I would say having to step into the role that I did my sophomore year, that side of it prepared me for what I could do at UNC. Yes, my role changed a little bit, but it gave me the tools to be able to step in and like fill in the best that I could. So it prepared me and it didn't. It's kind of like a learn on the go thing. So it was good though.
Yeah, it gave you a solid base and then you built off of it.
Yeah.
So I watched this video of your buzzer beater in the ACC quarterfinals and to send it to OT. You guys ended up losing the game, which I'm sure stings, but what was that moment like when you hit that shot? Because that was a great shot. I mean, right at the buzzer, could not be like more textbook buzzer beater shot.
Yeah. I mean, it was awesome. The funniest part about it is we ran that play, like we practiced that play, and it never worked. Like either I missed it terribly, or like someone else was in that position and missed it, or our practice players were cheating the drill and they just like tipped it or blocked it or whatever. But it literally never went in or worked ever. Like ever. And then to run it in that game, we all kind of like looked at each other when she drew it up and we're like, guys, like,
oh God. All right, let's see ya.
here we go. Like this is it. And I remember someone being like, if it's not there, like don't force it. But like, and the girl Alyssa who passed it to me, love her to death. She was like, Eva, I'm passing you the ball, so be ready to shoot it. I'm like, all right, I got you. And then seeing it just go in, like I didn't even remember like the celebration because I didn't do that intentionally. I just saw it go in and I was like, oh my gosh, it went in. And I just like freaked out, which was so cool. And that was one of the few games that my dad could be at all year too. And he was sitting front row. And so to even see him be able to celebrate and like be in that moment with me was really special.
I always imagine myself in that scenario like, oh, this is how I'd celebrate, like if I caught a pick six or something, you know what I mean? Just imagine like, oh, hype, celebrate. There's no way you can prepare for something like that.
Yeah,
the second
that you have a lot of those moments.
All right, when I played football, I had some huge sacks and forced fumbles. I was a monster, I want you to know. And blocking's a big aspect of football. So I did my job and I did it well. But enough about me. So I mean, you're playing for UNC now, and like you said, you want to improve on your game as you go. You want to break into the starter scene. But what's your favorite part of playing for UNC right now?
Yeah. I mean, the basketball side of it is so cool, but there was this tweet, I think it was yesterday or something, that laid out the rankings of our different teams, and our like field hockey team's number 1, men's basketball's number 1, women's soccer is number 2. We're number 12. I think baseball, or like there's like 7 or 8 different teams that are listed in the top 25 in the country. And that in itself is one of the coolest things to me. Like I genuinely play at one of the most dominant athletic teams, athletic schools in the country. Like that is just so cool. I walk into the training room and I'm seeing kids who are literally all Americans, like ACC player of the year. Our women's field hockey team literally just swept the ACC, like, what are they called? ACC awards, like offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, freshman of the year, co-coach of the year. Like you don't get that anywhere else. And I think that's the coolest part is like,
not even Duke.
No, not even Duke. Like I haven't heard of their field hockey team. I don't even know if they're good. Women's soccer, they're all right, but like
I had to bring up the rivalry.
We're talking about UNC. We're talking about UNC right now, Carlos.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I don't know if you watched us beat them in the semifinal games last year, like the men's team, or when we beat them at Duke and they just like, that was embarrassing, or when the women's team beat them by like 40 both times. I mean, anyway you go, just not a good look for Duke right now. Anyway, yeah, I mean, just being able to be surrounded by the top athletes in the country is one of the coolest things. And especially as a female athlete, we have literally the top female sports in the country, and it's so cool. Like our women's lacrosse team just won a natty. Like that's so casual. I can just say that. Like I just toss it out. Yeah. Our men's team was in the natty last year. You know, like I'm going to compete for a natty, and I can say that, and I can actually mean it because we are. Like that's the cool part. At William and Mary, I could never say that. Like, yeah, I would have won a natty, but like it's never gonna happen there.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on the new NIL rules? I know that's the biggest thing in college sports for the last couple of years. So what are your thoughts on them, and have you taken advantage of these opportunities?
Yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot of nuances. There's a lot of different directions that you can go, but also not that many directions you can go. I don't know. For me, I've kind of struggled with it just because I feel like if you have a social media presence, then that is like your golden ticket, and that is what gets you deals. I don't love posting deal stuff on Instagram. Like I don't want that to be what my page is. I'd rather do things that are more interactive with the community and find a way that's like getting involved with where I am versus on social media. So I think I've struggled with it a little bit just in that sense of it, but I have gotten involved. Like I have a t-shirt. Oh, it's actually right here. I have a t-shirt like through Johnny T-shirts, which is a local one that has like my name on it and my number, and like my whole family got it. So that's been really cool. And I have started, like I'm with Moolah Kicks, which is a female run organization that's designed basketball shoes for the female foot, which is a wicked big deal just because shoes have always been designed for men and we live in a men's world. And so being able to like shift the perspective and finally give like women the respect enough to give them a shoe that actually is designed for their unique foot is really cool to me. And I've done a few things with them and just been involved and have talked to their CEO and all of that. And she's wicked cool. So those
is there a particular one of those shoes you want to shout out to the audience?
I mean, I have like 3 or 4 pairs right now. And the design, like the shoe itself is all the same, but they shift like the design. So I mean, I would just go look at your local Dick's Sporting Goods, and they've got them in there, or go online. There's the Neovolt, which just came out, have some pretty cool design. I have like an all white one, which I love. They just won't stay white because
I'm terrible.
I know that was my problem. I had all white basketball shoes and they got all messed up.
Yeah, they get brown. I sweat so much. They just get brown and it's so upsetting. But yeah, so those are the few things that I've done, but for me, it's as it comes. I will do what I can. I'd rather do camps. Like I'm hoping to do a camp eventually. I do have like a sweatshirt through my old internship. So there's little things that I've done, but I definitely haven't maximized it like some of my teammates have.
I mean, and that's completely understandable because right now you're just focused on playing. You know what I mean? Like season's coming up. That's not the one thing on your mind right now. You got multiple, I'm assuming. But one thing that is going on right now is just the NBA in general, and I'm sure you're a sports fan as much as you play the sport. Is there a particular WNBA, NBA player that you grew up watching or that you're watching right now that like you model your game after, or that's just your favorite to watch them play?
Yeah. It's funny you say that because I'm not the biggest NBA person.
Very well.
I am more of an NCAA gal myself, like men's basketball, March Madness, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Is there someone you like watching?
I mean, I have to say UNC because I go there.
Oh, of course.
But I struggle a little bit with the NBA just because it can be all over the place. Guys are dramatic. It's just a lot for me.
Fair.
Not
very fair.
Yeah.
I understand it completely.
But I mean, I wanted to see the Celtics win it just because it's a New England team, and why not? Player wise, when I was younger, I watched Skylar Diggins a lot. And then when I was at William and Mary, I watched Sabrina Ionescu a lot. So I would say almost Sabrina and even Kelsey Plum, just kind of in both their mentality, but also the roundedness of their games. I would say is kind of the people that I would never really say I've imaged my game after someone, just because I do my own thing. I'm on the floor a lot. I don't really see a lot of professionals on the floor too much. I'm on the floor a lot. I'm taking charges, like I'm doing all that stuff. So I watch it. I watch the WNBA a decent amount. I just like to watch competitive, good sports, honestly, no matter what it is.
You'd say you like playing them more than you like watching them.
Any sport, like literally throw me any sport and I'll try to figure it out and play it. Like that's fun to me.
We'll throw you on a football field, see how you do.
Please. Oh, I need to hit someone. Like I need that in my life, honestly.
Should have been a hockey player.
I should have. I never really learned how to skate. Skates are
no, I can't skate for the life of me.
Yeah, no.
All right, so we just have a couple real quick rapid fire fun questions for you. Harry, you got the first one, right?
Yeah. What is your go-to pregame song? Locker room hype. What are you listening to?
Oh gosh. That's so hard. I don't have.
That's a tough one.
I would actually genuinely have to look at my Spotify because one, I'm terrible with names and artists. So I don't even know. And two, I just bounce around from playlists all the time. So I honestly don't have an answer for you. My dad would want me to say some classical music. And that's in there every once in a while, but like not consistently.
Definitely bumping Frank Sinatra before the game.
My dad, he would want me to. He would. George Washington actually is who he prefers.
Very well.
Yeah, but no, I'm kind of all over the place in general. I'm not as much of like the hard rap before the game. I'm more of soothing music or give me some like Christian, just some Christian worship songs and I'm good to go. Like it'll get me in the headspace I need to be in.
If you could have one celebrity watch you play, who would it be?
My goodness. These are hard. Celebrity. I mean, I think Michael Jordan. I just have to say that because like he's got to come to UNC. Yeah. So Michael Jordan, when you see this podcast or interview, please come to one of our games.
If he ever sees this, he'll
see you in Charlotte. He's better be in Charlotte because that's his tournament. So
oh yeah. Well, speaking on athletes, I guess, what's your favorite non-basketball athlete of all time?
Oof. Maybe Serena Williams. She's the
goat.
She's the goat.
She really is the goat.
She's just genuinely the goat.
Period. End conversation.
So that's all we got for you. We appreciate you coming on, taking the time to do this interview with us. Best of luck this season. Can't wait to watch some of the games.
Hey, I'm in North Carolina. I'll try and pop out to one.
Yeah, let me know if you ever need a ticket or something. Cause
I'll pop out to a game.
All right,
I'll make it
perfect. Where in North Carolina?
I'm Jacksonville.
Okay,
so right by Wilmo and Raleigh.
Yep.
Thanks everyone for watching and listening. Check us out on Instagram at @offbeat_sports and subscribe to our YouTube OffBeat Sports and make sure on the lookout for the next installation of the OffBeat University series. Thanks for tuning in.
Call them all Texas.